I think we're live. Welcome to Auctions Anonymous.
Give me an A.
Woohoo!
Give me, how do you spell?
Another A. You just need another A.
Maybe I can't spell.
Like
Like this?
Give me an A.
Okay, there we
Give
go.
me another A. Auction Anonymous.
Maybe
Right
we can do a wave. Ready?
Tonight, right now.
Did it come back?
All right, thank you everyone for being on. How many people we got on right now?
I see 87 so far already.
Ooh, 91.
Oh, 11.
111 now.
Woo!
All right, that's awesome.
That's
Good. We're gonna have a good show. So September 11th. Yep, September 11th show. Pretty cool. All right.
So we kind of thought, okay, well, it is September 11th, so we have to at least say something. For us, just personally, we thought, I know you wanted to say a couple words, just like how you feel about September 11th.
Yeah,
maybe ask everyone.
We're a patriotic family. We have people in the family, especially on her side, that have served in the military, served in war, and served as police officers. We currently have a nephew who's enlisted and also firefighter. So
Nice.
it's near and dear to our family, especially. I know you guys too. So we wanted to just say our respects to all the first responders and military and anyone that served, especially we got Justin here too. We do have someone who serves, so we appreciate that. And 9/11 is, I mean, we didn't even realize that we're going to be hosting on 9/11. When we figured that out, we were like, that's awesome. Yeah, we're honored.
So we just thought, for us, just not for everyone out there that's even, I know today can be a hard day for a lot of people, and just our prayers and thoughts go out for all the families that have been affected. Even where we live in the city we had, some people that lost their lives that day that lived in San Ramon. So we wanted to just throw that out tonight. And that being said, we thought we'd do something a little different to start out our introductions. So we were going to have the panelists start by sharing where they were 18 years ago today.
Yeah, on September 11th.
Yeah. So George and Jeremy, if you guys want to start, that'd be awesome.
Where were you, George?
I remember I was working at a nursing home. I was covering the front desk for the receptionist, and a housekeeper ran up to the desk and she's like, the plane, it flew into the tower. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so she dragged me into the dining room, and we were watching it on the TV, and I just started bawling. So that's where I was. I was at work.
I was unemployed, not fun employed, but unemployed. I actually just got downsized and was getting ready to pack my family, which consisted of a wife and a 3-year-old at that time, to head to Bible college to get my Bible theology and camp administration degree. And I was helping my brother, who started a landscaping business. We were pulling out shrubs, and the customer came out and said, you need to go home. You need to go turn your TVs on. And so we went back to my house and turned the TV on. And I remember looking at my younger brother and going, we're going to war. There's no doubt about it. We're going to war. And the one thing that I remember very, very precisely from the whole event, how the nation came together all as one. And as we look this many years later, how many silly things tear us apart. I mean, it could be something as silly as I like avocados and I don't. I mean, it's so silly what tears us apart, and how God often uses that complete chaos at times to bring people together. And I remember the solidarity of our country behind our president and his speech, which was never eloquent. And yet here he put it on the line, and everybody rallied behind it. And I'll never forget the way that the country came together.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's awesome. All right, Justin, Grimes Fines, share if you guys both want to share where you were that morning.
Well, first I'll share where I was. I remember I was sitting at the end of my bed, and I was watching the news right after the first one hits. Whenever I turned the news on, and then I saw the second one. I remember just thinking, I was like, man, this can't be real. But then a few minutes later, I was actually in the Marine Corps. I was active at that point, and we grabbed our stuff and threw it in the back of our truck. I remember we were driving around trying to get up to the base to see when we were leaving. But unfortunately, we didn't get that opportunity. Man, but that day we were hot and we were ready to go. But and you know how I do it on my channel. I keep it real, and I do appreciate y'all bringing this up. I was hoping y'all would, but I just know the kind of people you are, so I knew you'd definitely honor and show respect in the area. But kind of a little bit what Jeremy said. It kind of reflected something in my mind. And 9/11 to me, 18 years later, is kind of like Easter and Christmas. To be honest, it's like those 2 days a week that are a year that people want to go to church and be nice to each other. It's like that one day that people want to fake the funk, but the other, days of the year they want to disrespect each other and can't disrespect, different views and stuff like that. So, to be honest, the way that we treat each other as a people in this nation, it's almost mocking it, and it's become like church to me, if you want to be honest. So that's what I mean by Easter and Christmas.
That's a great perspective. Yeah, I like that.
For real. Sorry if I hurt your feelings, but I love you.
It's good.
Well, that was my 18th birthday whenever it happened, and I was still in high school. I was my senior in high school, and I was taking a college class at the local college, and my teacher there didn't really know what was happening. And so when I went to high school, I got there later in the day and didn't know, until then. It was about 11 o'clock in the morning until I really knew what was happening. But the most memorable part of that day was I was I think it was the Lions Club Student of the Month. And I had already had plans to be recognized at a lunch that day. And I remember being there with all the war veterans who were part of the Lions Club, and seeing the tears in their eyes of what was happening. And that's when I realized how serious it was. So.
What about you, honey?
I was actually living in the back of my parents' house. They had a little cottage at the time, and I was running my business out of a barn right there. So it was a nice little setup. I just remember getting woken up, my mom outside banging on the window, and I'm like, "What's up?" And she just said, "They got us. They got us." And I was like, then the whole process of learning learning the news, trying to understand what happened, and it was just like there's like a combination of. I just remember having fear and anger at the same time. Like, just you're scared, you don't know what's happening, and you're angry that someone could do some monstrous act. But what I remember happened, I just remember afterwards, because I had my own business at the time. I had an office. I brought in a TV, plugged it right there in the office, and everyone that's in the office with me, they had to watch the news all day long, like probably for 6 months after that, just news all day long. Like, I could not get enough information. I just was trying to understand what it just happened. Still, it's like it's beyond understanding, I think.
And it really affected your business too, right?
It did. Yeah, absolutely. I was doing advertising for home improvement companies, and
no one cared.
Business as usual was out the window. Yeah, we took a real hit.
No one cared anymore because it was just like perspective.
It was big.
So for me, I had an 18-month-old and 2 kids in school. So they had already been at school, and then I was at home, and my best friend called me. I wasn't watching TV and said, "You got to turn on the TV." And I just remember sitting glued in front of the TV, crying with my little toddler, just and my brother had just joined Oakland PD after getting out of the Air Force, maybe 9 months before that. So, just feeling super emotional about it and everything, and just rallying around. I'm really close to my family, and just all of us kind of processing it and what that meant. And for me, a big part of it was just praying, just right away, praying for everyone and all the families. Because for me, that was the first thing. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many moms and dads and people that have kids and kids that are being affected. And so for me, I know our church and a lot of people were like, we're driving out there right now. We're going to go help. And a lot of people from where we lived drove out and trying to organize to help the efforts on the ground there. So it's kind of a hard transition from asking everyone about that to moving on. So we thought, okay, well, we'll kind of transition that with, from the person you were then in 2001, how are you different today? So we thought we'll kind of ease our way out of that. So if just briefly you could share, starting with George and Jeremy.
I definitely have grown since then.
I have too, but this way.
I've achieved a lot since then. Have hit a lot of goals that I've wanted to hit since then. Still have more goals. What about you?
I was unemployed then. I did add an F to my unemployment, so now I'm fun employed, and there is a drastic difference. If you were to tell me back then that I would be where I'm at now, I would have shook my head and called you crazy. I've gone through major life upheavals and changes, and hopefully that's grown me in different ways that I can help others grow as well. So that being said, the biggest thing is now I'm with an Egyptian.
I love it. That's awesome. Grimes, what about you guys?
Man, how long we got?
It's the brief answer.
Yeah, I don't have enough time to list all the ways that I'm different. What I'll say this is I was 21 then, and I gave my life to Christ at 25, but I just lived a very empty, just dark life. And to be honest, I always told people I'd be dead or in prison by the time I was 30. I really did. I had no hope in life for just a very long time. And then the Lord saved me when I was 25, and He's just been kind of carrying me along, Hadn't still perfected this thing, never will, but, I'm just still progressing, away from the person that I am. And, thank the Lord that saved me, because I wasn't a nice person.
That's awesome.
Can we go? Let's. There was 2 super chats, Jenna.
Okay, let's hear it.
You're not doing my job here.
Yeah, it's gonna get fired. Okay.
Oh, Mom G. What, is it your birthday?
Yes.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
Whoa!
Is it
Say
today?
that. I heard it.
No,
I thought it was yesterday.
No, this woman is the best at dragging this crap out forever. She got the day off yesterday, went shopping with her mom while I did double duty, and
I
then
respect that.
she got her real birthday. Her real birthday's today,
Yeah,
y'all.
my birthday's today, but we've been celebrating since Saturday.
Oh, so she's one that
birthday
pulls
month.
off the birthday month. Oh,
Yes.
Are you a birthday week or birthday month?
Well, I never
She would be.
wanted
She's
to.
a week because she doesn't have enough family members. If she did, she'd drag the scrap out of her.
Well,
No.
happy birthday.
she's a birthday year. It goes all
All
year.
year.
All year.
You know what we do year round? Look,
Christmas.
Christmas. That's what we do year round.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
I
used
love
to
it.
do that too.
Then we also had Flippin' Adventures, $5.
Thank you for your service, Justin, and all service personnel, federal and local, active and or retired. You are all appreciated and in my prayers always. Thank you, Flippin' Adventure.
Thank you, Flippin.
Yeah, it's
Thank you for
awesome.
the super chat. Yeah.
Okay, Justin, we were with you.
Were we?
Are you
No, you.
with me?
Okay. Yes.
Well,
She's been perfect her whole life.
I
Next.
haven't. Well, I was just, I was 18. So,
Yeah.
A lot of things happened from 18 to 36. And so, graduated high school, graduated college, I had a job, got married, all those things. So,
And still the same sweet person she's always been her whole life.
That's awesome.
anyway, yeah, I grew up. I was a kid.
Yeah.
So,
What about you, Jenny?
I was definitely a different person as well. A lot time has a way of making you a little bit wiser and humbling you for sure. But definitely, like Justin, I was not a Christian at that age. I was 31. That didn't come till probably 4 years later, 35, and I was definitely living a different life as well. Not one for the Lord. So, but in that time, I was much angrier as well, and harder person. Definitely that walk, and also having Jana be part of my life definitely softened me up and help me let go of some of that stuff. It's completely different today.
as you guys okay, so Justin and Jack, you guys got saved later in life, living a different life. My story is exact opposite, where grew up in a Christian home, married my high school sweetheart, was with her for 20 years, went through a horrific divorce. All the garbage came afterwards for me. And so where you guys had to change for the positive, here I was positive all the time, and then all the garbage hit, and I would have never, ever, ever predicted it. Never, ever thought that I would be in an abandoned home with no utilities for 3 months with a toothbrush and an air mattress. Didn't even have heat to keep myself warm. Would go out garbage picking to burn in the fireplace so I could keep my feet warm at night and sleep on a wood floor. Our stories are so different.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's amazing to hear everyone's journey. I just think it's cool. I was thinking about tonight and I was like, okay, what do I even want to know about our fellow friends in our group? And it's just like great to just get more insight of just like who you are and how you tick. But for me, I think I just became a lot stronger because I had to go through a lot of hard things too. I was married before, 3 kids. I've had them full time. And then just realizing, you know, how strong I could be, but just always just thankful for my family. I have an awesome family, but I think for me is just realizing that I can do things I didn't think I could do. That would probably be the biggest change for me. So, but on a happier note, so
we have a $5 super chat here.
Oh, yeah, that's
pretty
a good happy. Let's
That's
hear
from
that.
Pat D's. I tried to put up here, but it's going to cover you guys up. Sorry about that. And it is for you. Only Mr. to smile. Look at these 3 couples. Maybe a couples challenge in storage units. Ooh, that's a good idea.
I like it.
Pat D's, a storage challenge.
Yeah.
Something we should consider.
We could submit our own videos and then someone can compile it.
I like it.
I like that.
I have this idea,
Secret.
but it's a secret. Forget it.
Shannon Carter says, do you realize all of your names start with a J or a G? Good observation, Sharon. Great observation.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's really funny.
Wait, you're one of these things that doesn't belong
I'm
here.
the only G.
One of these
Everyone
things
else is
just
J.
isn't the same.
It's me. I stick out.
That's so funny. So we could probably, you want to go to the next part?
Yeah, since we're doing nostalgia here, we'll throw back. We'll do some insight into what we were like in our younger years. Briefly share what were you like as a kid?
Yeah, we want to hear it. Briefly
A
give us
youngster.
a description of you as a youngster.
Yeah.
Jeremy, George, you guys start.
3 things that what?
Or just share briefly what you were like as a kid.
As a kid? Oh, I was very bashful. Still am.
You
And
spoke Egyptian, Arabic. Let's hear it.
My first language was Egyptian.
Really?
Yeah. My parents, that's all they spoke was Egyptian in the house. And then when I had to go to preschool, I kind of learned it. By kindergarten, I had to learn it. And I was a tomboy growing up because I had 3 brothers.
That's
I had
cool.
1 sister and 3 brothers, so it was more of a tomboy.
Huh. I love it. What about you, Jeremy?
I was shorter, but I was still fat. I was whiter,
Stop.
but I was still white. And
You weren't as taken.
I wasn't anywhere near as funny, but then again, I'm still not now. So
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, Grimes Fines. What about you two?
All right. Growing up, I was extremely shy. My mom had to talk to me all the time, probably. But shy, I would probably call myself a major rule follower. Never wanted to do anything wrong ever. Extremely girly. Way into music, probably. I don't know. I was at church all the time growing up.
Okay.
Church.
so was I.
Yeah, 4 days a week I was at church too.
I was there 8 days a week.
And so
Yeah.
Top that. All right. What about you, Justin?
Man, I was trying to think, and I don't know. I was like, the first time I got picked up for shoplifting was when I was 10. That's literally the first time I remember.
How old?
10 years old, and it was up on Spring Creek. I was like y'all aren't from here, but it was in Plano, you know. But I was a very angry and very sad kid. I just remember always being angry and always, sad. And I don't remember why, but I was just very mischievous. We'd break into cars, and we were just. I don't know. I was a bad kid. That's what I can say. Hey, I can tell you how to break into a school and break in and get the pizzas, the little square pizzas.
No kid's a bad kid.
Oh.
Wait, Justin just had a great video idea.
Oh gosh, I love it.
Is this a challenge?
Yeah.
Locker challenge.
All right, Jack. Your turn.
As a kid, I was incredibly shy, painfully shy. Even into adulthood, I was terribly shy. And but I was very creative. Like I liked to draw a lot as a kid, and I had a very small pool of friends, and that was all I needed, really. Yeah, rode our bikes all day. It was pretty simple. Growing up in the '70s seemed pretty simple in retrospect. And Star Wars came out. We're all about Star Wars. As everything. Music.
Did your parents tell you, all right, come home once the street lights are on, and you just ran all over town with all of your buddies and everything?
All my friends lived right down the street pretty much, so we were close anyways. But yeah. We were out all the time.
Could you imagine a parent being like that today?
No.
Oh, that would never happen.
I'm like, I can't see you. You're in the front yard.
Yeah.
So for me, my parents say that I never knew a stranger. And my parents are both massive introverts. So I came out and they were like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with her? Because I just came out of the womb talking. I would always talk to people everywhere. I just love people. So I was really talkative. I kind of got in trouble with that for school. I was a really good student, but until I got to high school, and then I got distracted by boys. And then overall, though, I was pretty social. I like to be funny, and I just love being around people. That was probably the thing that I still like the most, is just being around people. So
we have another super chat here. Maybe we have a couple, but I see one from Meredith Deals, $2.99. Thank you so much. And it says, all three of y'all are great example couples, but there's a question mark there. So
Sometimes we are.
You may not be sure about that.
Wait, what was that? What did I miss?
Mary
Who's
Deathy
that
Deals
directed towards?
said
all three of
all
y'all
three of y'all are great example couples. But then a question
mark.
mark.
Question mark.
It's debatable.
Yeah, I love it. So, okay, so we have two more before we get into some questions from the viewers, because we want all the viewers to kind of think if there's any questions they want to ask about us. We were going to pick one to ask as far as it goes to throw back to our childhood. But so if it was in the summer and you were listening to some music in junior high, high school, or as a kid, what would we find on your cassette tape or record player? What would you be listening to? Jeremy, George?
MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice.
He lived up the street from us, MC Hammer.
Nice.
In Fremont, yeah.
Can't touch this.
We go up to his house and see him.
Did you have a pair of parachute pants too?
I did not, but I had friends that did.
I just have something to option.
But good choice. Good choice.
Baby, we ain't talking about my retro throwback hair. We're not going
Let's
back
not
there.
go there?
We
Okay.
ain't going there.
I love it. And
I would have been listening to DC Talk, Newsboys, mainly DC Talk. I mean, DC Talk was my jam.
Your jam.
And they still are.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
And also anyone in the chat, if they want to put their favorite tunes or music that they listen to, definitely join in. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Justin.
Man,
We're talking about junior high, right?
junior high.
High school, whenever, like your, awkward years.
I was all over the place, but probably in high school was definitely Tupac. I was a huge Tupac fan. But I loved I'm not afraid to admit it, like NSYNC and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was totally into the
JT, shout out to Timberlake, he's awesome. But I like Sinatra. I like everything. So literally like Journey, Led Zeppelin, I love everything. So to be honest, it's just I'm like when you go on 7-Eleven and you get a little, what do they call it, a suicide? That's me. That's what me with music.
George abandoned me.
I see that, just like an abandoned storage locker. If you were by yourself.
The moose is here. I knew this was going to happen. Oh, you're back.
I was parched.
Girls gotta have some water.
Apparently, you learned English. Parched. I've never even used that word.
So I guess like I listened to all the top 40 basically, junior high and high school. I always was up with whatever was the most current music then. And then I also listened to a lot of Christian music. Probably what I listened to the most was DC Talk, like Jeremy said. What was that? I can't remember the name of the other group I listened to all the time.
Audio Adrenaline?
No, well, Audio Adrenaline was good. It's Christy Knuckles, what they used to be. Watermark. Watermark was one of my very favorites. So
There's definitely a lot more to choose from in Christian music today than there was 25 years ago. Your turn, honey.
Yeah. I listened to a bunch of stuff too, but mostly I stuck to modern rock. I mean, what we called modern rock back then. Alternative rock, I think, is more commonly what they call it now, right? But Oingo Boingo was my biggest favorite band, and I saw them in concert probably 7 or 8 times.
I saw them too.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I even met them once. Met Danny Elfman once. That was not as exciting as I thought it would be, but still pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. So for me, same thing. When I was in high school, really alternative rock was like it for us. So it was like REM, NXS, Depeche Mode. Everyone loved that. So that was pretty much what everyone liked. So look who we have joining us.
Pirate.
Hey, Pirate.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
Oh, my phone is not letting me get on. It took me like a half hour to get my phone to work to be able to come on tonight.
Well, we're happy you're here. So we're just going to open right up with a question. So when you were a younger pirate, junior high and high school, what would we find you listening to on a weekend, music-wise?
Ooh, probably Tupac or Eminem.
You and Justin. Wow. Okay. Same. That's so funny. I love it.
Tupac.
That's awesome. Well, that was easy. My goodness.
We do have a couple super chats. Nick Draper, he says, "This comes for you, George. 17 years old or not?"
Not.
Oh,
And
we got another one.
This thing flew up. Got one from Pat Dees. "Justin, I can sing You Got a Friend in Me. Yes, from Toy Story, or Meet the Flintstones. You pick." That's what Pat Dees.
Did you pay to say that?
$5 to sing.
He said $5.
That's weird, man. I'm just playing. You should have done that on my premiere that's airing right after this. So make sure to stay tuned and remember.
yeah, and you can talk about the Flintstones.
You can $5 me all you want about that.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so we were going to have all the viewers, if they have any questions. I haven't seen any. George, have you seen any questions yet from them? If they had any, if any of the viewers had any questions in regards to us being younger, I'd love to hear from them. So let me know if you see any.
Be careful what you ask for.
I know. Family-friendly questions? So
Carolyn wants to know, I would like to know what do when you find a gun. I think she meant to say, what do you do when you find a gun?
okay. So that would depend on your state, right? Anyone want to take that one? Because I'm not the best person for that.
Can I answer this?
Sure.
Okay. First thing you do when you find a gun is make sure it's not loaded. How about that one?
Yes.
Mike, you learned that lesson? Mike witnessed it. I had a buddy bring 2 guns up while he was there, and he was sitting there playing around with it, spinning around, and I walked straight out to the parking lot, took it out of his hand, and I racked about 6 shells out of the shotgun. If he would have pulled that trigger, Mike would have been dead.
5 shells were in it. 5 shells.
Whoa.
Always, the first thing you do, you ain't worried about calling the police or the manager or getting excited about how much money you're going to make. You're going to make sure you're safe. Take the freaking bullets out.
Good safety message, Justin. I like it.
Yeah, that's a true story. Ask Mike. I mean, he was there.
It's on the vlog from when I came out there. I filmed all
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, that's right. It was on your blog. Y'all go check that out. It was on there. They were recording when that happened. I forgot.
Oh, wow.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy. Okay, Samuel. Samuel Carr for $2 super chat said, "Would you scroll up and read my 3 posts?" Okay, so
I'm scrolling up and I don't
I
see
didn't
any.
see him.
Okay, Judy
Should've-
Perry, $2 country western. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, and then
Grimes, do you two listen to country because you're in Texas?
I love country. That is the one non-compromise in my house. This woman will not let
I
me
hate
listen to
country
country.
music.
he doesn't like it. I do.
I found one from Samuel Carr.
Okay, let's hear it.
Samuel Carr said, "My brother's name recently went on the FBI honor wall. He was on the ground at the Pentagon directing the investigation. Soon after he came down with leukemia, he went through 2 bone marrow transplants and reprogramming his T cells. And, here's the third one. We lost him 2 years ago. CDC determined that his leukemia was a direct result of his service at the Pentagon on 9/11.
Oh, wow.
It's
I'm
unfortunate.
so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, though. And thanks for super chatting, because honestly, like, we don't see this thing's flying me, and I'm not so good at multitasking. I didn't see that. I appreciate you super chatting. Really, guys, that's the best way to get a comment read when we have the things moving as fast as they do, is to do a super chat.
Yeah. Do we see any other questions coming through? Did you see anything, George? How old?
Nick Draper sent a $2 super chat. Says, "This Coke from the unit today?" Spell check. He must have found food in the unit today.
Okay. Huh. Someone asked in the chat, if you look up, how old do you have to be to buy a locker? That's a good question. Does it depend on the state, you think, or is it just 18? Mike?
You want me to take that one?
Yeah.
Mike? Oh, go, Mike.
Global
our
Voodoo
state-
is saying, "Have a great night, everyone."
In our state, it's 18,
Mike.
and I think it's not necessarily you need to have some type of ID proof if you don't already register. Like Michaela tried to register at public storage last run, she couldn't because she hasn't got her ID saying she's 18 yet. But if the auctioneer knows you're 18, like somebody you go in person besides public storage, they'll probably let you slide if you know you're honest. But it's 18 in California.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. And Jeremy, you want to add to that?
Yeah, bidding and buying are 2 different things. So to enter into a legal contract, like Mike already said, you have to be of legal age and you have to have identification. But if I were to take my 11-year-old daughter with me and said, "Hey, let's bid on this," she can bid. She's under the umbrella of dad and dad's registration number. So bidding and buying are always 2 different things. So when you're buying, Jeremy's going to pay, but I can have Alyssa actually bid.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, cool. I see a question here, and someone asked, I think it was Elizabeth. She said, if you could do one day over again, what would you choose? What day?
That's a tough question.
Right?
There's so many good ones.
I think just for me, it would just be a happy day, like something that happy. I mean, I wouldn't pick childbirth because as much as I love it, I just wouldn't pick it again. Maybe the after part. But yeah, like maybe a vacation. I could think of like when I went on a great vacation or something. So, what about you?
I don't know. Our wedding day was pretty awesome.
Oh, honey.
Aww.
Great time, really.
For me, it was
Somebody's
when I
trying
got
to
my
get-
driver's license.
Someone's trying to get brownie points over there. You just lost them. He got them. You lost them.
He got a lot of brownie points.
When I got my driver's license, I felt so independent that day.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
My favorite moments, it wouldn't be a day, but when I worked for a Christian camp as a teenager in high school, driving speedboats 10 hours a day on Lake Erie, nothing can ever replace that. Going 50 miles per hour, wind in your hair, wearing a pair of Umbros.
Umbros.
People thinking a white boy is black.
Did you
It
wear
was great.
Speedos too?
No Speedos. No need for that.
Because friends don't let friends wear Speedos.
Thank you.
Right. We like to call them banana hammocks here in Texas.
Let's
What'd you say?
I said we like to call them banana hammocks here in Texas.
Yeah, I like to call them that too.
And then, Mike, what about for you?
What is the exact question? Like, what is a happy day?
So, if you could relive another one day in your life again, what would it be?
Oh man, that's a trick question.
Right?
Yeah, because I don't have a lot of those. That would, whew. Probably honestly for me it would be the day my children were both born, because that is probably the most greatest day I've had in my life, is the day both of them were born. Because I haven't been married yet, so I can't say that. Some of y'all get to be lucky and say that, but my kids being born, especially because they're adults now and I'm almost out of kids, so definitely
Yeah,
would be
that makes you a good dad. That makes you a great dad. Okay, Justin, did you guys say anything for you? No.
I don't know.
No. Yeah.
It's a hard.
That's a hard. Yeah, that's a hard question.
I don't know that it changed like any mistakes, right? Because you learn through your mistakes. But I
Yeah.
guess like I take back
What-
anytime I ever like hurt anyone and was like rude or mean to someone. Like I know I'm still going to do it in the future, but I wish I hadn't. So if I guess I'd take away one of those moments.
The question is, what day would you live over?
That's okay. I like that, actually. That's your own twist to it, and I like that.
No, that's me half listening and half responding to people on here. Pat D's messing me up. See, that's why I don't like you, Pat. You're setting me up, man.
Oh my god! Someone, Annie, in the super chat for $2 asked, "Where was Mike at 9/11?" Because that was the one. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Did you want to answer that, and then we'll come back, or where were you, Mike, at 9/11? Because we asked that earlier.
Oh man, I remembered it like it was freaking yesterday. When it first happened, I thought it was like something weird because I was in bed and I heard it on the news because I like to sleep with the TV on, and I thought it was like a dream or something. I woke up and saw that all that craziness happened, and I had to go to work that day. I remember I was thinking this earlier because it's the 18th anniversary of it, and Storage Scott, one of my friends, we moved somebody that day, and I'm thinking, man, we've been friends for a long time, because I remember that day we moved a certain person. It was crazy. There was like a house full of antiques, and I just remember watching it on the news all day, and it made me just think about how long him and I have been friends, because we'd already been friends for like 5-8 years by then too. So yeah, that's exactly what I was doing that day.
Thanks. That's good. Okay, you want to go back to Gina?
What?
Do you want to go back?
Yeah, Gina, do you want to answer that last question?
Oh,
Did
what day would I live over? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that really comes to my mind is, of course, after marrying Justin would be is an excellent day to reach over.
Good girl.
I have another one though. I went to Victoria Falls in Africa, and being able to go to the edge of the waterfall, Victoria Falls, was probably the most amazing experiences that I've ever had.
That's a beautiful answer. I love that. Well, we have some more super chats, so let's want to read those.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Burke-Narrow, but that's Amber. And Amber recently purchased our turntable for her daughter. So thank you again, Amber. That was awesome. She's saying, do all of you have registered businesses? If so, is that best for tax purposes when reselling, or does it make much of a difference?
Jeremy, you want to start with that?
Yep.
Come on. Sir.
Set me up. So in regards to the tax purposes, ask the question again, even though I read it and then I was responding to somebody. But
she was asking, do you all have registered businesses? And if so, is that best for tax purposes?
Okay, so I have multiple registered businesses. So, for example, there's a common misconception out there that, hey, I've got real estate property, and real estate is what makes me able to do storage units. That's absolutely incorrect.
That's not true.
Real estate goes with real estate. Nothing crosses over into storage units. And to be honest, I'm making more money in storage units currently than I am in real estate. And so if anything, the storage units would actually help me buy more real estate right now, even though I still feel real estate is your best investment. So they are both under two different LLCs. And I see somebody else ask, are you sole proprietorship? Are you S Corp? Sole proprietorship is probably what you're going to want to be in the beginning. And your EIN is going to be your social security number. So you'll be identified as your social security number. That LLC, that limited liability company, is just going to protect you against any lawsuits, so that they can sue the business and the umbrella of the business, but they can't go after you, your personal bank account, try and go after your home, things along those ways. If you get a lawyer to set up your LLC for you or your business, that's going to cost, depending on your area and who you're working with, it could be anywhere from $250 to $750, but you're probably going to be an average of $500 to do that. I would encourage anybody to set up an LLC to do this once you have the appropriate funds to do that, and then don't cross over businesses. So if you got a personal savings account, a personal checking account, don't cross over your storage unit money into that. Storage unit money is for storage units, and keep it in its own account separate. Invest that way, save that way, give that way from that storage unit money. That's my long and short answer.
Great answer. Thank you for thoroughly covering that. We have a couple more super chats, so let's get those. And by the way, thanks for all the super chats, everyone. That's awesome.
Yeah,
this
so
is the
awesome.
first time we've actually used super chat, really fully.
We got one last time.
Just not that many.
Jeannie Trevino says, love you all, and please tell Storage Stalker to make more videos. Jeremy, Justin too. Funny. Ladies all beautiful. Mike, you're so positive. Jack, you are so calm. Love from Houston, Texas.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thanks, Jeannie. And we will tell Alex to make more videos right after I have the conversation with him about not releasing videos while we're having a live that he's supposed to be on. So Alex, if you're watching,
call them out.
He's in the live. He's in the chat.
He's in
been
the live.
chat.
He's busted.
You, Alex.
He's been stalking from the chat.
Oh my gosh.
I know he's having some troubles with his mic. That's why he's not on tonight.
Yeah, he's having technical issues. Jack, did you see Judy Perry's super chat?
Let's see. I got the next one here is Storage Prospector.
It was before that.
Oh, let's see.
It didn't. Oh, Judy.
Oh, the
yeah.
Country Western.
Yeah. I read
Yeah.
that one. It was a while ago.
And Storage Prospector says, business QA, y'all just claim sole proprietor or as a LLC or S Corp. Just wondering when we make a shift to a different level. That's good, but that's very much like Amber's question right before that we answered.
I tried to cover them both at the same time.
It's not needed if you want to get into reselling, right?
No.
It's not needed if you're going to get into reselling. But I would strongly encourage it if you're going to move forward in the business.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that's great advice. And if anyone else out there has any other questions.
Hey, there's one, just a follow-up one to the gun question. It says, what if you have no clue how to unload a gun? Don't touch it. Call the police. Tell them the situation. They'll come out and handle it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never dealt with guns too much, only a few times with people who knew how to handle guns. I found a loaded handgun in a locker, and I was actually put it down. I was actually going on YouTube trying to find a video on how to unload a revolver, and I would have, and then I even called her dad asking for help, and he's just like, maybe call her brother, and. But then I found a ski mask and a flannel shirt that was bundled in. Like, I got so distracted by the gun, I didn't see the ski mask and the flannel shirt. So then it was easy. I just called the cops. But if you do that, though, the cops do take it. And that day, the cops took it away, and I was not able to get it back. So I'm not saying that's necessarily the right way. But if you don't know how to handle a gun like I don't, and it was loaded, better than shooting yourself, right?
Indeed.
Usually.
Indeed.
Mama G had a suggestion. I'm going to release sometime next week. I'll release a gun safety video. If you are interested in that, I'll make it.
That's cool.
Great idea.
Yeah.
I love that. And it seems fitting coming from Texas.
Yes.
From California, it just wouldn't mean as much from here. Let's see. I found another question. Okay. Someone had asked, did we make a profit on our first ever lockers we ever bought? If anyone wants to answer that, we can start with Jordan Jeremy. Do you remember, and did you make a profit on the first locker you ever bought?
Don't remember. Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. For me, my first storage unit was back in November.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I made a profit, and I'm still selling things from that unit and still continue to make a profit.
Okay.
That's cool.
Awesome. Mike?
I think I've told this story several times that I did my first storage unit when I was a furniture mover, and I bought something off Dan Dotson for $1, And that night I sold one item for $600 and quit my job. So it's like I made an instant profit, and it was what got me addicted to this business. I literally quit my job off my first store.
Hey, don't go telling people that now.
Or they're gonna do
Well,
YouTube.
I'm a risk taker. When I do something, I go all in. I don't suggest most people just quitting their job and doing storage units, but I'm kind of, when I'm ready to do something, it's like all in. So
Yeah.
that inspired me.
All right. What about Grimes Finds? What about you guys on your first storage? Did you make a profit?
I know I did, but like as soon as you asked it, I was like, I wonder if anybody else is going to say it. I don't remember. I'm starting to Rolodex through thousands of units and how not just the ones I've bought, but the ones I've looked at.
Yeah.
I have no flipping clue. I really can't remember ones from last week if I don't go back and watch the video. I don't know. But I'm sure I've never lost money on a price. Yes, it is possible not to lose money on units. It's a true story, I promise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about you, honey? Our first. I'm trying to remember the first one.
We made money.
Yeah, we made money.
Not
I think it was a good one. The Livermore one, right?
It took a while before we actually lost money on one.
Took some practice before.
I was very
We had to get good to lose money.
Yeah, that took some skill levels. Okay, Mary Jo Klein asked, how many siblings do each of us have? I like that. George, Jeremy, you guys want to start?
Mm-hmm. We both have 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Mine are Egyptian and hers are white honky.
That's amazing how that worked out.
Weird. It just happened that way.
I'm the second oldest, and
I'm the second
he's
oldest.
the second
Are
oldest.
you serious?
Yeah.
There's a whole birth order theory, about personality. So that's definitely interesting.
It's true. It's true in regards to her.
Okay, Grimes Finds, what about you guys? How many siblings do you have? And where are you in the birth order? Let's just throw that in.
All right. Well, I'll go first because Justin's answer is extremely complicated.
Man, I'm going to make it simple.
We need a diagram. I got
an older sister and have a younger brother. So I'm in the middle child.
I'm trying to count. Hold on. I've got one full-blooded sister, same mom, same dad. I've got four half, and 4 that I still consider steps.
Okay, cool. It's all family. It's all good. What about you, Mike? Oh, wait, where are you? I guess you're in the middle. Okay, I gotcha. Mike, what about you?
I have 1 sister and 1 brother. I've had them on some of my videos in the past, 1 or 2, and as well, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Cool. Okay. What about you, honey?
I got 1 sister, and I'm older.
I've got a baby brother, and we are both firstborns.
Yeah.
Which means we both like to be the boss.
Mm-hmm. We got a question from JK here, and it's a good question. He says, do you feel compelled to buy a unit regardless of what's in it to make a YouTube video?
Ooh.
I think it's a good question.
All right.
We going first?
Yeah, you are.
I think for us
I can remember the one time we did buy a unit.
I can't
as a
do
teaching
it.
lesson.
I can't do it to lose money. And so it's not in me. And sometimes she'll be like, well, just do a video and teach them what not to do.
For newbies.
And I can't do that. I cannot lose money. And so that goes against everything inside of me. I can't buy just to buy for a video, even though the temptation is there because that YouTube monster needs fed. And if you don't put out a video, then all of the fans are like, what's going on? What's happening? Why aren't you giving us a video? But I can't do it to lose money. So you'll see another kind of video from us. It'll be a Q&A. It'll be let's go thrifting. It'll be whatever. I can't buy one to lose money. It's not in me.
I like it. All right. Grimes Finds, what about you?
Simple answer, no. I mean, I have such a big business and so much overhead I have to feed. I don't have a problem, so that's just not an issue. I don't ever have a shortage of units to film. In fact, I'll be able to talk tomorrow.
Gotcha. Okay. What about you, Mike?
There's no real reason to because I buy so many units a month. It's not even crazy. I buy anywhere from like 10 to 30 units in a month, and I buy units people don't even want. Like there'll be a no sale, and I'll go and give $5 for it. It's like, I mean, to say I bought something for YouTube would be crazy, but I have an overabundance of things to film. So that's, I don't know. It's a weird question.
We just got back from an auction earlier today, and there's actually a unit that was not that impressive, just some luggage on the floor, but there's a big blue barrel, plastic, like a water barrel. And I was looking at that going, I'm so curious what's in there. And I know this would make a great video. And I almost bought it for that reason, but I'm thinking of Mike's video where he found the barrels from the clinic. And I'm like, that is like, I feel traumatized from just watching that video. And I'm thinking the worst thing in there, I couldn't do it. Not even for a video, I couldn't do it.
Now, one of the things we do often, we'll look at a unit and we'll go, this will be great for YouTube. You know, viewers will love this.
Yeah.
We love trunks. We love safes. But those are things we're going to buy anyway. So it's not an initial buy for YouTube. It's a buy because we're going to buy it, but we know it's going to translate well on the platform of YouTube as well.
Yeah. So we had another question I saw. I don't know who asked it because it went up a while ago, but I thought it was good. They asked, when would we ever get together to do a meet and greet? Sorry. I said, they asked if we'd ever get together to do a meet and greet as a group because they would be interested in that. Is that something we'd ever plan on doing?
Huh. That is interesting.
It's something to consider, sure.
Yeah.
Huh.
We should definitely consider that.
We should definitely consider it.
Where would that be then?
I don't know.
Last time we did in California, so
That was California.
I can't take you to California. We got to meet in the middle or something.
I feel like
Let's
when
go
we
to
were together
Hawaii.
in California, we were so busy that there was no time
Yeah.
to have a meet and greet.
That's true.
So
But if we go to Hawaii, like
definitely
Mike
something to
said, if we
consider
go to
if
Hawaii,
there's
like
time.
Mike said, there's time for everything in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Meet and greet all day long if we're in Hawaii. I love it. So,
by the pool.
oh yeah, it was Robin that said it. Okay, thanks for the question, Robin. And then I saw another question come through I thought was really cool. They said, were any of you were any of you entrepreneurs naturally as kids? So,
I started working at the age of 10, helping my dad with the family restaurant.
I can't ever remember a time I wasn't working because my family had a grocery store that was three generations into it. Probably one of the things I did as a kid is we would walk around the block, try and find the soda or the pop bottles, turn those into grandma for 10 cents, get penny candy. So that was entrepreneurship to feed the gut. But probably the first business was paper route to pay for Sega Genesis video games.
I love it. It's awesome. Grimes Pines, what about you guys?
I was hoping you were skipping over me because, like, I'm going to say weed, and I think that still counts.
Sure.
That counts.
I'm not proud of it, but I'm being.
In California, it counts.
Well, not in Dallas when you're 14.
Oh.
It's true. My first job was working for my dad. I was shredding paper at he's a CPA and now shredding paper at his office. So.
Ooh, that's fun. I like to shred paper.
I would listen to music and shred paper all day long.
I
Satisfying.
would love that job.
She kind of lit up when you said shred paper. She was like, shredding paper.
Shredding paper. Weird, strange addiction, George.
Christmas gift ideas.
It's one of them, yes.
She's got a
It's
bunch
the
of
sound
strange
It's
addictions.
the sound that it makes when the paper goes
Oh
through the
boy.
shredder.
Shredding paper, sniffing my armpits, and you don't want to know number 3.
That's hilarious.
He tries so hard to embarrass me, but it doesn't work.
What about you, Mike?
I think it's a loose term on entrepreneurial, but I've always worked my whole life. I come from a very poor family, so I used to work with my father a lot. We actually took me on the road on my very first move job when I was 6 months old. Like, I've been literally working forever, but I used to do stuff like I would write out my own business cards at like 6 years old, and I'd take them all to all the neighbors and to do yard work, and I'd give everybody around the neighborhood like these cards to try to like cut lawns, do bushes. I mean, I used to dumpster dive when I was a kid, like Jeremy said about recycling cans. I would go around all the apartments we lived in and pull all the cans out, and I've always done whatever I could to work for myself / not be an employee of some form. So
I love that.
I guess
That's
it's
awesome.
in my blood since I was born.
And also all the viewers, when you're out there, everyone watching, if you want to put in the chat, but if you guys were entrepreneurs or maybe your first job, we'd love to hear that too. But we do have a super chat.
Oh yeah.
We'll answer.
Adventures with the Hudsons says, "Hey guys, I watch their channel. Thanks to all of you for sharing such good advice. This helps us select good units at auction. We need AA weekly. We are addicted. Yes, they are.
I love it. That's awesome.
They're fans of you guys, George and Jeremy. They watch.
They've been buying units for 2 months now, and Beth and Jim had a 3-day garage sale, and apparently they made a ton of money.
Good for them. They were on your video. I remember watching that.
Yeah.
They've been on
They're a fun
couple or
couple.
a few. Or,
Yeah.
Yep, they're a fun couple.
Awesome. Well, thanks for watching.
They're having fun.
And so, what about you, honey, entrepreneur?
Well, I just have a funny story because my parents started a flea market business when I was 10. I think to teach me and my sister about business, not because they needed the money. They wanted us to learn business, which so we did. We worked pretty hard. But next to us was a Korean family. They were selling knockoff Rubik's cubes, and we became friends with them. They gave me a good deal on the Rubik's cubes. They're not real, but they had all these different triangles and all stars and all kinds of stuff. So I brought them to elementary school, and the kids were like, "That's awesome! Where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "It's only at the flea market." So I started placing orders. I even got to the point where I made a catalog. I drew everything out, handwritten, photocopied it, and was giving the other kids a catalog so they could order them from me. And the teacher shut me down. I got a call.
Awesome. Jack was in the trench coat. Here's a catalog.
Yeah. I know for me, I was a Girl Scout as a kid, and like the first time I ever sold Girl Scout cookies, I was like, I found my calling selling things. I was like, I was going to be the #1 salesperson. I love selling. Funny enough, Jack, my aunt and uncle owned a wholesale business and sold at the flea market in San Jose. Jack's family we actually worked at the same flea market during the same time and never knew each other as kids. Yeah. So kind of a cool, funny story.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. So, all right, let's see. Do we have any other questions or super chats? Let's see.
I just want to add one comment to all that. That just proves the point as you went around the panel. Money is never the issue for people. It's a mentality. And I think we just saw all around the panel, these people have a mentality to go out and hustle and work and make it happen on a daily basis. And if you don't have that in you, you're not going to get the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good, Jeremy. No, that's really good. That's true. It is definitely, you have to have that mentality to get out there.
I believe a lot of people. I believe a lot of people think they can't. They just simply can't do it. So they don't never put forth the energy or willing to risk the chance that they won't, because they just simply, like you said, and don't think they can.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Okay, someone asks, I think we have time for maybe one more question before we wrap it up. And it says, you want to read the name?
Tyrannic Ember.
Yeah.
It says, how long does it usually take to sell a full unit? And what do you guys do with the stuff you can't sell?
George, Jeremy, you want to start with that one?
For us, when we're going through the unit, we have separate piles. We have a pile of stuff that we're going to donate. We create a pile of stuff that is going to go to the local auction house. We create a pile that goes to the warehouse to have during a warehouse sale. And then we have the small nuggets that we find that are eBay worthy. So 4 piles. And
it can take a year to go through all of that stuff if you're doing it right.
To sell it
for
all.
us and our system. And it's just our system. That's what it is. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. It's just our system.
When we send things to the local auction house, that gets sold weekly for us. And then we have warehouse sales during the warmer months. So weekly sales then too. And then for eBay, you have to find the right buyer for the certain item that you're listing.
And October 5th, we're actually having an auction at the warehouse. We're liquidating the warehouse. So that's a spring and a fall event. And so it's just our system.
Yeah, everyone has different systems. What about Crimes Finds? What about you guys? Question was, how long does it usually take you to sell a full unit? And what do you do with the stuff you can't sell?
How big is the unit? Huh?
That's a good question.
That's true. It varies for the size of the unit. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you have
the size does matter.
Yeah,
baby.
Mm-hmm. Never mind. So back to the unit. I was never mind. Hey, stop it, Mike. Stop it. Stop. that Michael Jordan gift, just stop, or whatever it is. So it depends, right? Like we have a system. If you have enough trash cans and enough space, if you watch our video from yesterday, I actually set up a time lapse for an entire hour and shows how much we went through. But if we wanted to, we can usually, I'll go out and buy 10 units. If we're not doing like auctions in California and crazy stuff like that, then I can usually buy, get it processed, and sell it all. Like I could do probably 3 10 by 20s or 30s. We could process that and get paid for it in about 7 days.
Cool. Awesome. Mike, what about you?
It really depends on the size of the unit, but most things like when I do a unit, I basically sort it. If it's good enough for eBay, it goes right boom on the eBay shelves. The rest goes to the flea market, and I don't take anything home. I'm either it's free or to the dumps, and so it just depends. Like a 10 by 10, I can get 1 load out, but a 10 by 30 is going to be 3 loads, so 3 days probably on a full 10 by 30.
It's fast.
That is fast.
That's fast. Yeah. I mean, for us too, it depends on the size, but I've gotten much faster than I used to be. It used to take me forever because I enjoyed that process and I didn't buy very many units, but now we buy a lot of units. We bought 5 units in the last 2 days, and we do a lot faster now.
Same thing though. We sort like what Jeremy and George kind of do. Like we put together like this is going to, the flea market. This is going maybe to donate. This is going to the dump, and this is what goes to
Good
eBay.
flea market.
eBay.
Low end flea market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sort all of it by where we're going to take it, divide and conquer, put it in its proper place, process it, and try to get rid of as much of the lower stuff, either donate or sell as fast as we can to turn it over. Because it's just the time is money. So,
Yeah.
And that's why I stressed it's just our system, because I know we all have different systems and different timelines, and the viewers got to figure out what they have available to them in their area and what they can utilize to get rid of things. Like if I lived next to Justin Grimes, I wouldn't even, my whole system would change. I'd send everything to Justin. I'd be like, here's my unit.
Here's donation.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I think our time is kind of coming to an end at 7:05. So just want to thank everyone that's been on and our awesome panel. We have such an amazing group that we get to collaborate with, and we really appreciate it. We thank everyone that's watching and all your awesome questions. I think we have a super chat we didn't answer, so let's do that before we head off.
And then can we talk about who's going to host next week?
Yes, absolutely. Tom says, my wife and I bought a unit for the first twice our money in a week. We bought another one today. It's all your fault. Thank you for everything. You're welcome, Tom. You are welcome.
You're welcome.
What the hell's
You're
Tom?
welcome.
Make those sales.
It's only going to get better.
You just go.
Is there any
That's
other?
cool, Tom. It's exciting.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Heather, I saw that she sent a super chat too, but it doesn't have anything in it. It just says NZ. So.
Oh, no, it does right here. It says that Grimestone is premiering a video after this. That's what it's fine. You can barely see it. Barely see it, but it was there. I promise.
It was like, yeah, I love that. NZ,
New Zealand?
New Zealand. Thanks,
Yeah,
Heather.
I think that is what that means, Grimes. I think you're right.
I think it does. So everyone hop on over. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Next week, who's hosting?
Who's up?
I think Pirate's up.
Pirate.
Pirate, are you able to host next week?
I can go if Jack will let me go over to his house. I'll host there.
Yeah,
You are always
That's about
welcome at
the
our
way to do it.
house.
totally.
I'll even make you dinner.
Yeah, collaboration. Hey.
The
I love
first
it.
paid pirate
Live
next week.
collaboration.
It's good. Okay. So next week, stay tuned. We'll be live from Storage
She's making
Auction
dinner. Can we
Pirate.
go over there too?
Yeah. You guys welcome. Come on. Everyone come over.
Yeah, we'll set up stations
Yeah.
all over.
We're gonna hop over to our premiere. Hopefully, it won't be wacky, but we'll be over there, and it was great hanging out with you guys. We love y'all very much.
All right, you guys. Peace
Thanks
out.
for
Have a
being
good
on.
night.
Thanks, everyone.
Love you guys.
There you go. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Wilson's not both